Life is a waterfall. We're one in the river and one again during the fall. Swimming through the void, we hear the word, we free ourselves and we find it all. Cause we are the ones that wanna play, always love to go and we always get to stay. And we are the ones that need not choose, always wanna play but you never have to lose. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Life is a waterfall. We drink from the river, then we turn around and create our thoughts. Swimming through the void, we hear the word, we free ourselves and we find it all. Cause we are the ones that love to play, always love to go and we always get to stay. And we are the ones that need not choose, always get to play but you never have to lose. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Angels so up high, when you free your mind's eternal prize. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Angels in the sky, when you free your mind, you free your life. Angels so up high, when you free your mind's eternal prize. Ah, ah, ah,
Hello and welcome to today's meditation. Sit down or lay down in a comfortable position, and when you're ready, you can close your eyes. Take a deep breath, focusing on your heart space and your feelings. While you sink deeper in your heart space, notice what feeling is leaving. Don't attach to it, rather just observe it. Either good feelings or bad feelings, let them come up and pass, while you stay in your peace, which is your true nature of being. Notice how your feelings have nothing to do with who you are. They do not define you, nor can they hurt you. So you can let them go and continue sinking deeper into your peace. Sometimes we tend to grasp these feelings and try to analyze them, while they just need to be felt and let them flow, just like you're doing now. Don't overthink them, just let them do them while you do you. As you keep surrendering the need to analyze your feelings with your mind, you discover you're falling in deeper and deeper peace. Make a choice now to always be present with it. Never do you need to leave your peace. Never is it required for you to leave this space. The true meaning of your feeling is for clarity. Feel them and you'll see the truth. Feel them and you'll fall deeper into the realization that you don't have to worry about anything. As you keep releasing, notice how your heart is now open, like a beautiful flower that blossoms in spring. You too shall keep blossoming while attracting your desires and good in your life, just like a flower attracts bees in due time. With this peace you've now rediscovered, you can gently come back to your room. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, everyone. Namaste.
Hi everyone, I'm Neelam. I'm here to do the reading today for the Church of Union Sunday service. The cards that I'll be using for the reading today are the Sacred Traveler Oracle cards by Dennis Lin. I have already pre-shuffled the cards and I have pulled out 3 cards for today's reading. So the first card that comes is Solitude. In silence, peace prevails. God is trying to tell us through this card that it is in silence that we cut off the chatter of the outside world. And maybe that's the time we can introspect ourselves better. It is in silence that we can see our inner being better and our perspectives get clearer. It is also in silence that the divine guidance will come to us. Solitude is something that we all can practice without any guilt, without any fear. It's okay to take a step back. It's telling us it's okay to take your time out and to spend time with yourself and stay in silence so that you can get your intuitions more clearly. You can also understand yourself at a much deeper level than ever. The woman in this picture seems to be at a lot of peace. She seems to be sitting in a forest and unbothered by the chaos around her. The bird sitting on her shoulder is very clearly depicting how peaceful that space is. The woman is looking downwards, and it kind of represents someone who is into himself, who's trying to understand himself better, who's trying to get the inner knowing more better. Somebody who is trying to tap into their inner wisdom. It is okay to practice solitude. It is okay to stay silent. If you need that time to get to know yourself and listen to the intuitions better, it's all right to do that. Navigating by the stars, follow your dreams. This tells us that the intuitions may not be very loud. They may not satisfy our logical mind. The gut feelings and the intuitions are very, very dim sometimes when the logical mind is trying to push away our intuitions and trying to play games with our mind by telling us that intuitions is not something that one can really follow and it's not safe. But God wants you to know that it is safe. It is safe to listen to those whispers of the spirit guides. Those intuitions are messages from the masters guiding you on your path. It's telling you that it's okay to believe, it's okay to breathe and trust that everything is divinely planned and everything is happening as per the plan and at its divine time. Navigating by the stars is kind of giving a message to us that we can navigate through those small intuitions and inner knowings and gut feelings. It is safe to do that. The person in this card seems to be walking down a road which is having very little light. It has a lot of twists and turns. This road seems to be unpredictable, and it's telling us that this person is finding the light of the stars enough to walk down that path, not knowing where the destination is and how the road is going to be. Irrespective of that, still walking on that path by following the bliss, following what's feeling good in the moment. So we can always trust and follow what feels good in the moment, in the present, heading towards whatever is destined for us and divinely planned for us. Joy and delight. Open your heart to joy. We can always choose what feels good to us on the path. We can always choose to be happy with whatever comes on the path. We don't know how the journey is going to be. We don't know how the destination is going to be. We don't know anything. But all we have within ourselves at this point of time, the power, is we can stay in the present. We can embrace everything in the present and find joy in it. The small girl in the card looks like a fairy, representing us in our divine forms. She's looking up in the sky, and the sun shining brightly through the sky, through the clouds, onto her face. This is depicting that the universe is all the time offering us its blessings. It's giving us everything that we need. It is up to us to open our heart and receive, to trust that it's all for us. She's receiving all the warmth and the light because she's showing up. She's opening her heart. She's allowing her heart to open and receive the blessings. God is telling us that joy and delight is something we can find on the path at every point of time. All these three cards are beautiful, but when put together, they are even more beautiful. They're giving a very strong message. In silence, you can grow your inner voice and your intuitions. Through those intuitions, however dim they may look, however illogical they may look, it's safe. It's safe to trust those intuitions and walk the path. It's taking you to your divine self. And yes, on the way, don't forget to find joy in everything that you have. It's such a beautiful message, kind of telling us to surrender and to trust. I love doing this reading for all of you. It's such a privilege. Hope you enjoy the rest of the sermon. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Sunday service. It's a very juicy, deep Sunday service. My name is Arshia. Today's Sunday service is conducted by Laurencio and Alexandra, and there is some fun announcements in there, a teaser in there. I will not break it open now. You can watch the service and see what is the announcement in there. So, what Laurencio and Alexandra are talking about is a very deep topic, and the inspiration came from Shaleia sharing a beautiful quote in the Facebook, and that's where it's inspired from. So it's a very deep topic where it's about suffering and how to move through suffering, how not to perpetuate suffering, and how to move forward from it, what are the reasons why it is there, and how to process it is what the ceremony is about. So when I heard it, it was very healing for me. It was emotional and it was deep. It felt like a lot of cleaning up of suffering. So I hope everybody heals alongside. If you learn to listen with your heart what the ceremony is about, then I feel that this ceremony is especially very healing because it is literally moving from suffering into light and blooming. So it's about blooming because spring is on the way. It's time to bloom into light. It is time to put an end to that suffering. So that's what is being touched upon in this ceremony. And in my experience as a unionist, I bloom and then I move through the cycle of pruning, like how, let's say, a rose plant blooms and then the blooming happens, then the rose plant withers, and then you have to prune it, right? The pruning looks like suffering, but it's also part of growth. But the point is that you have to move through it. If you get stuck and stagnant there, then the blooming will not happen. If you will not love the plant, nourish the plant, then the blooming will not happen. So I invite everybody into this beautiful ceremony and this beautiful spring energy. As a unionist, I do invite everyone to go to unionism.org and share and give your likes and love through tithing so that we can all come together and ground this love on earth, end the suffering on earth. So this is the process where it's like a domino effect. When you choose to end the suffering within you, somewhere or the other there is a end to the suffering on earth too. So yes, as a unionist you are definitely contributing, and there are more ways to contribute as a unionist. You can go to unionist.org and check it out. I also invite you to look into where you have made choices or towards your suffering and heal through it. This Sunday, do not wait and perpetuate the suffering, as there is love ahead, there is God ahead, and there is blooming and joy and romance ahead. As unionist, this is what Jeff and Shalea's teachings teach, how to come and ground in love. So let's see what fun, deep, juicy ceremony that Laurencio and Alexandra has kept for us today as unionist. I am very grateful to have addressed this, and I will see you at the end. Thank you.
Welcome to another Sunday service. I'm Laurencio.
And I am Alexandra, and we are today's executive ministers here to do the Sunday service. Let us begin, as always, with our 3 opening ohms and followed by our opening prayer. You can follow along aloud or in your heart. Let us begin with the 3 opening ohms. And now for our opening prayer.
I am the only child of God, forever part of Him. I am created by Him in perfection, and there I always remain. My mind is my sanctuary, where I keep His holy creation sacred. I will only allow in His voice. I will only accept His word.
Today I will hear the word of God. I surrender myself to His teachings through His divine channel. I will honor what He has spoken and accept it as His will. I will be obedient to His word, for this is my salvation. In Christ's name, Om.
Amen.
Amen. Welcome to another wonderful Sunday service. Today we would like to start the Sunday service with an announcement. And it's a joyful announcement, it's a fun announcement, and that is that we are teasing just an annual event that we will have. So this event will happen each and every year from starting this year. In spring, we are celebrating spring actually with our very first Sweet Spring fundraiser. The very first Church of Union Sweet Spring fundraiser. And in this fundraiser, if you have known us for a while, if you have been with us for a while, you might have known we did like a version of this. It's a bit different now, but we did a version of this a few years back where we did an autumn raffle. So it was a very fun event back then. We had like a lot of special prizes, a lot of very unique items that were donated by Jeff and Shaleia. It was a very fun event, and this year we're doing it all over again, a bit enhanced, a bit different, a bit special, and we liked it so much that we wanted to do it each and every year. So the fundraiser, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun. Look out for it. Look out for our social media in the Unionism discussion group. The Facebook group. Look for on our Facebook page. You will receive there all the information you need to know about the event. But we can let you know, again, we have some amazing prizes that you can win in these fundraisers. And again, unique and special spiritual items donated by Jeff and Shaleia. We are very grateful for everybody behind the scenes working on this fundraiser right now. It's being organized, it's being put together, it's a lot of fun. The volunteers are having a blast with it. And we are also grateful for Jeff and Shaleia, first of all, for inspiring this event and for donating unique items, and for all of the coaches who have donated as well items to the fundraiser. So you're gonna see, keep it up. I'm gonna keep you enticed then.
You're gonna enjoy it.
You're gonna enjoy it. We've been part of the organization of the event. It's been very fun. So yeah, I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. But yeah, look out for our social media from now on for more information about the Sweet Spring fundraiser that's going to be organized. And since we are celebrating the coming of spring in such a beautiful way, it was only proper to start discussing about spring. And our sermon today is inspired by a quote that Shaleia shared in the open forum. And I felt inspired by that quote. I'm going to read it in a moment. But I felt inspired by that quote because I felt it's tied to the spring, and it tied to this energy of, coming from a long winter, and feeling, the sun rays and the sunshine warming up again, the earth, coming back to life. And this new renewal energy that spring brings, it was a very beautiful, sermon to put together. But how do we do that? Just us as people, I think like a lot of us go through our own kind of spring, and how we do that. Well, let me grab the quote from Shaleia, and we can start with that one. Okay. So the quote says the following. If you understood the nature of suffering, you would not have to suffer. You must first understand what causes suffering, and then you'll have the ability to transcend it. And the quote is from the hymn of Jesus and the Acts of John. From the Acts of John. The hymn of Jesus from the Acts of John. So I loved this quote because even if it talks about suffering, it talks really about that in order for you to relieve yourself from suffering, you have to understand what causes suffering in the first place. And I think, with the topic of spring coming out of the winter, the winter of the soul is usually associated, with suffering, with depression, with these, unpleasant feelings, right? So I felt it was like appropriate to connect these two together. And what I gather from this quote is that you must feel your feelings. You must explore your inner self to see what causes you to be in a winter wonderland. What causes you to be, in a place where you don't feel so good, right? And once you fully understand what is causing your suffering, you will be able to transcend it. You will be able to heal through it. And I think this is one of the major things that, I appreciate about being a unionist and knowing about, for example, the mirror exercise, because with the mirror exercise really helps you understand what causes you to be upset and then helps you transcend it. It's exactly that in 4 steps. But of course, I feel like the quote speaks deeper about what is the cause of all of your suffering in your life. And for that, I think like the only thing, like as we were meditating upon this quote and going deeper with it, is the only thing that ever makes us suffer is separation from God, from our Creator, from our source of love. And the moment that we realize that the cause of our suffering is just that, the fact that we are not with God in a place within ourselves, we are able to heal and come back to God in that space. So therefore, we are able to come back together. We are able to come into our original state where we are connected with God, where we are one with God, and therefore where we end suffering and come back into a state of love and joy.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's very beautiful.
I think you have the next piece.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to suffering and when it comes to relieving yourself, as you said, like it's really important to arrive at a place of feeling your feelings, and that's, I feel like, key to this. And I feel like, that's what we're taught in the teachings of union, to feel our feelings, because we know that we were created as divine beings that are capable of automatically healing. So basically, all that we have to do is just feel our feelings. If we do that, we already made a huge progress in our journey, into our healing journey. Because usually what happens is not that we're not capable of feeling as beings, as divine beings. It's just that we stop ourselves from feeling our feelings. And that's when healing stops. It's when we are not looking at the feelings that we're having, when we are not honest with our feelings, when we are hiding those feelings away from ourselves, from God, from others. But the moment we reveal them, we brought them to the surface, it's kind of, we shine light upon them, how Jeff and Shannon, they usually say in the classes, is when you shine light on those feelings that have been there hidden within yourself, that's when the healing already starts. And I really love this, because our job as unionists and as people that really desire to heal and go on this ascension, knowing that us making the first step in just feeling our feelings, and that is already powerful enough to change your life, it's really reassuring. And try it out. First of all, like, it's perfect, to be in this space when you realize that whenever you have an issue, first thing, get in a space where you can feel your feelings, and then the rest can unfold. And of course, you can always call on for more support from Ascension coaches, from Twin Flame Universe, or even more with MAP, when it comes to receiving support in case you're stuck in a trauma, when you're unable to feel some feelings, or you don't feel safe to feel some feelings. So therefore you need more support there to be able to move through whatever makes you feel unsafe, to feel those feelings, and then you feel them. But the key element here, to not go far away from the subject that you brought, Alexandra, here, it's feeling your feeling is essential in order to be able to ascend and come closer to God, come closer to your twin flame, come closer to what you truly desire.
Yeah. And I think, like, in order for you to be able to, move through this process of feeling your feelings and facing these places within your consciousness, you do have to have kind of faith in the process of healing, in this journey. You have to have faith that, yes, the healing that you're doing and all the steps that you are taking right now to heal yourself, to better your life, to love yourself to the best of your abilities are not in vain, are actually was necessary for you to move forward and transcend whatever challenging situation you are moving through. So therefore, I really love this because it kind of ties into a next thing that I wanted to bring up, that I felt it was, cute and relevant to spring. One of the how to say symbols of spring here in Romania, it's usually in March. When we have on the 1st of March, we have like a little celebration for spring, and you give like these little trinkets. Boys give trinkets to girls. It's like a really fun thing. And we give like trinkets to our moms. Usually like the women receive like the trinkets. Mărțișor. I don't know how to say it in English, but it's just a little trinket that has like white and red thread.
Usually white and red, and depending now has become more fancy. You can have a more fancy.
Yeah, it has evolved, right? But that's the traditional. It's a white and red thread. And but one of the key things that is given with the little trinket, it's also like snowdrops. And about March is where snowdrops. You can find them. They're picking their head, from the snow or not. Depends. It's been challenging with snow here, guys, lately.
Yeah.
But they still pick their head, when spring starts to arrive. And I was curious, it's like, ooh, snowdrops. They're one of my favorite flowers, for the spring. And when I was like, oh, is there like something? What do they signify? What do they mean? And I found this little legend that is just a legend. I don't think there's any like biblical connotation or, confirmation as to, this is what happened, right? But I found it very cute and also, inspiring and relevant. And the legend goes like this. When Adam and Eve were cast away from heaven after, doing the dirty deed with the snake and the apple, we know what happened. They were cast on earth. And when they came to earth, they came during the winter times, and they were a bit, desolated, coming from the Garden of Eden, where they had everything, coming to a very cold and frozen earth. It was a shock for them. And they were feeling a bit desolated and hopeless about how to go about living in this new life, on this new earth, in these new frozen lands where there was nothing. And they were brought from heaven. They had like an escort, like an angel. And the angel, felt compassion for them because they saw, how they were, suffering, talking about suffering and how, your separation from God is suffering. They were suffering in that moment. So the angel felt compassion for them because they were suffering, having fallen from heaven. And the angel kind of shed a tear for them. And in the place where they shed a tear, the angel shed a tear, a snowdrop, popped from the snow, from the ice, as a symbol of hope for them that why am I getting emotional?
I knew you were going to get emotional.
Stop it. I can do it.
You can do it.
Yes. Cut it in editing.
No, I'm going to keep it.
No. So where the teardrop of the angel fell down, hit the snow, that's where a snowdrop, arises from the snow as a symbol of hope for, for letting Adam and Eve know that the winter was not like eternal, right? And there was a spring coming, It's very nice because snowdrops, they are really the pioneers of flowers. When it comes to, they're peeking their head through the snow, the flowers. They're the first flowers, at least here, that, come after a snowy winter, right? So yeah, it felt very, relevant to the message of having hope and faith in your journey, that if you find yourself in a frozen place, if you find yourself in a space within yourself where you feel like, oh, there's no light of day, there's no warmth, everything is frozen, everything is maybe like a wasteland, that spring does come. Spring comes always after the winter. That's what I wanted to say. I was on my lips, not knowing how to phrase it. So yeah, after winter, spring comes, and this is kind of the promise of, like the cycles of life, the coming of like the how to say, the seasons. It's also, one of the laws. It kind of remembers me about what Shaleia said, the promise of dream is that they come true. So it is one of those things that is just a promise that after the winter comes spring. And to have faith in yourself and in your inner process, in your healing journey, and to have hope for yourself, that as you're going through whatever challenges come into your life, into your journey, that there is healing, there is another way, there is like the light at the end of the tunnel, in that sense. And that is a snowdrop for spring, and it is understanding the core reason of your suffering when it comes to your spiritual path and journey. And I think like there is a sense of relaxation when you just allow yourself to be in this place where you're like, yeah, it's all I ever need in my life is to be with God. And I think like when we're able to accept that and relax into that, we will have like plenty of miracle comes to us, because miracles come because we are able to like understand this lesson. And it kind of remembers me about Shaleia and how she spoke like in her journey, that before meeting Jeff as her twin flame, she was in a space where she was okay with being just her and God. And she was praying to God for her twin flame, but at the same time, she was very content and happy with her relationship with God, and knowing that, God is there for her. And I feel like if we are allowing ourselves to have like a relationship with God, where we're just, happy and joyful for having God in our life, that's where, we wouldn't be able to have any suffering, because that's the only thing that we need to end suffering. It's God.
Just be with God. Just love God and accept God. And with that, we're happy, because we have to remember our source of happiness, our source of love, our source of everything is God. So if you ever wondered what else would you be happy, there's no one else than God.
Yeah, exactly. And I think like the greatest point here is not for you not to just hear this. I think like us speaking about this subject is just a reminder. It's just a reminder that, hey, this is what you need to do when you're going on the right path and you're doing it, right? But truly and honestly, it's about understanding this lesson at the core, or understanding this in your life, because it's a very different thing, like to understanding like kind of in your mind or conceptually and be like, oh yeah, God, I'm happy, with God. But inside you're kind of like, no, I'm not happy.
Well, that means that you're not really like being present with your feelings. And
yeah, and it means like it's just you have to like integrate this lesson truly within yourself. And that's the key here. It's about living in this lesson, living in a state where you are happy with God. And when you where you're okay with that. And I understand in some places I'm good, but in some places I also get kind of upset about things, and oh God, it's not, I need something else, but it's not. And it just a chase within myself, and I'm choosing to end by kind of remembering myself always that all that I need ever is God. And if you maybe feel that whatever you desire cannot be accomplished by God, I invite you to look there. I invite you to heal in that space, because most likely there is just a misunderstanding in your relationship with God that you're moving through, and it's okay to move through that. It's okay to have places within your consciousness where you don't know who God is, even maybe, and you have to get to know who God is in that space in order for you to accept that the only thing that you need there is God and your relationship with God. And in order for you to move through that process, you have to feel your feelings. Now you're coming back to feeling your feelings. And it's safe to feel your feelings and move through whatever comes up about God, your relationship with your twin flame, right? Because your relationship with your twin flame, as Jeff and Shaleia teach, is the greatest mirror of your relationship with God. So therefore, that's why in the Church of Union, harmonious twin flame union is one of the things that it stands really at the foundation of our whole belief system, right? Because we are not able to cultivate the relationship with God if we don't know who God is. And one of the ways where we get to know God is through our relationship with our twin flame, because of the important role that our twin flames have in our life in this space.
Yep. I feel like you said already everything. I don't really have anything else to complete more than what you have completed already.
Well, that's okay. Good. Then, feels complete. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Let us conclude then with our closing prayer and with our 3 closing ohms. You can again follow along in your heart or aloud.
Father, I accept your word into my heart. I will honor your will in my life and will follow you without hesitation anywhere you ask. I know you guide me into your heart where I belong. I accept that you are everywhere and your teaching is in all things. God, I know you provide me clarity in this teaching of union, that I may be forever in union with you.
I accept that you are in me as you are in my brother. I will not deny my brother your word, and will share your teachings with him in any way you ask, and only as you ask. For when I share my salvation with him, I fully claim my salvation and return to you with him. In Christ's name, Om. Amen.
Speaking these prayers in your heart means that you have accepted that you are on a path of awakening to your true divine nature. This is what it means to be a unionist. Follow the teachings of union with God wherever you find them, and purify your consciousness into perfect union with your Creator.
And now for our 3 closing ohms. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Enjoy the spring. Hope to see you around in the Sweet Spring fundraiser as well. Don't forget, have a look. And we will see you next time.
Yes. See you next time. Namaste.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful, juicy ceremony and enjoyed the announcement that came with it. So, if you have enjoyed it, do leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And also, I would like to expand upon more on the announcements. So, before that, I'd like to share a little on how I felt about the ceremony. So it was very heart opening for me to see that what Laurencio was sharing, right? If you have to end your suffering, all you need is to bring God there. It is a place where God is missing, and any resistance to it is resistance to feeling your feelings. That's when the suffering perpetuates. When you feel your feelings, you allow God in there through your presence, and that feels so easy and so loving. It's not hard to do that. It's not hard to feel your feelings, right? So it's time to end the winter wonderland, like Alexandra mentioned. But the winter wonderland is not wonderland, it's just a false illusion of wonderland. It is just suffering. So you have the power to end your suffering, and the path is shown here as a unionist, right? And it's a fun, enjoyable process. Just because the word suffering exists, it doesn't mean that, oh, it's so scary. That's what Laurencio and Alexandra was taking us through. Even if it is deep and vulnerable and emotional, it is okay. It is okay as far as you have support, as far as you have your support system. We have our whole community supporting everyone to move out of their suffering. So it's safe to move through it. Allow yourself to receive that support also. And I want to talk more about the Sweet Spring fundraiser that is going to happen. This was a teaser for it. I hope everybody joins in. We are opening up the energy in this ceremony towards blooming. Let's all bloom together. And as you bloom, I feel that, it's a part of grounding love on earth. So grounding love within is grounding love on earth. It's all the same. There is no separation. So there are loads of gifts, loads of fun events for the whole Sweet Spring fundraiser, and it's going to be sweet. That's why it is named as sweet. So brush out all your suffering and then come and claim all that blossoming gifts through the Sweet Spring fundraiser. Do invest in it. So it is a beautiful, wonderful way to invest in unionism. And you can furthermore invest through tithing and donating in unionism.org. And also there is a after church tea time. It is on Facebook. It is called the Unionism Spiritual Discussion Group. You can join in so that you can attend. There'll be a panel of unionists for the after church tea time who will be discussing, and it is a very interactive event. You can send your messages, questions in that panel. I hope you enjoy your Sunday. Rest, relax, and much love. Thank you.